Hello everyone. Good evening. I hope I am audible. I hope I am audible. Hello everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. So I, Miss Payal, is going to take webinar today, and my topic will be fundamental and technical analysis. So we will see what is fundamental and what is technical analysis. So let's begin with our webinar. Okay. So what is fundamental analysis? Fundamental analysis in the market is a method of evaluating a company and determining intrinsic value of its market. And companies are valued as though they are unlisted or listed with no regards for their market price. So the buy and sell decisions are made based on whether stock is trading at the discount, premium, or its fair value. Although it's the value ultimately an opinion, relatively undervalued company and outperform over the long term. So the fundamental analysis can be applied to an other markets including currency, commodities, or we can say any financial markets. So in that case, any factor that affects the value of assets are considered. So now next we will see what is technical analysis. Okay, so technical analysis is based on charts, price, volume, you can say, and the objective is not to predict the future, but to identify the most likely scenarios, and the price action is used on indication of how market participants have acted in the past and how they may act in the future. So technical analysts use chart patterns, trends, support, resistance levels, and price and the volume behavior to identify trading opportunity with the positive expectancy. So the technical analysis does not consider the underlying business or economics that affects the value of a company. I hope I am audible. Okay, so coming on the tools used for fundamental and technical analysis are like fundamental analyst consider the company's financial position and performance, the market in which it operates, and also the competitors and the economy. So the most important source of data of fundamental analysis is company's financial statements. Like we can say income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and etc. And also industry data and economic factors are like interest rates, retail spending are also used as forecast future growth rates. So ultimately, we can say the fair value is arrived after comparing several models and ratios, whereas we can see technicals also, and technical analysis is lot of broader than many people realize, because in that there are many of the things to learn and watch. All charts use price charts, usually either line chart, bar chart, candlestick chart. Apart from price chart, the tools can be used very widely. So some analysts use indicators like moving average, RSI, MACD, and many more. But these are the commonly used by many traders. So other uses price patterns, complex analysis, framework like I can mention alloy waves. It is like theory, it waves as waves. It is also called as five-way theory, and many uses price action and market portfolio also. Okay, so coming on next, it is understanding the difference. So how one can understand the difference between fundamental and technical. So in this, the difference between two approaches come down to what determines the stock value or any interest, instrument value and price. So the fundamental analysis considered the value of company. This ultimately depends on the value of its assets and profit it can generate. And also we can say fundamental analyst is considered with the different types of stock value and any instrument and price at which it is trading. Whereas in technical analysis, it is concerned with price action, which gives clues as the supply and demand dynamics, which is what ultimately determines the market price. So the patterns often repeat themselves because investors often behave the same way in the same situation. So the technical analysis is concerned with price and volume data mostly. Okay, so coming forward, many of the traders must be having this question like which one is better, fundamental or technical? So the debate over the fundamental and technical analysis is continuation. So either from the analysts often try the alternative of but misunderstand that they can both have their places and they can differently analyze. So the fundamental analysis is most useful for the long term investment, I must say, while technical analysis most useful for short term trading, or you can say market timing also. So both can be combined to plan and execute investment over the medium and long term. And short term price movements are determined by supply and demand, which are in turn affected a lot than what typically goes in fundamental analysis. So the market sentiments are affected and of the emotions of market, as many of the traders trade as taking their emotions, but in market emotions are like nothing. You have to trade emotionlessly. So it can be analyzed by price and volume data only. On other hand, also you can say charts cannot be used to determine whether a stock or an instrument is under or overvalued and what its value may be in years or in future. So we will discuss some pros and cons of the fundamental analysis. So coming on this, analysis based on the company's financial and competitive position has several advantages like analyzing the environment in which it operates. It also can be the value, price and anything. So focusing on only the business rather than the focusing on market price gives the investor an idea of the company it actually works for. So it is invaluable for long-term investing, as investing during the market bubbles can be rewarding, but it's still important to know when the market is in bubble. So the market portfolio risk can be managed by calculating the premium to the fair value at which stocks are trading. Also, we can say the asset allocation decisions can be made to reduce the potential downside of the portfolio. And the biggest profit usually made by the investors that are correct when the rest of the market is wrong. This can be only achieved when the fundamental analysis, also decision based on fundamental analysis, typically have higher probability of being correct and particularly over the long term. Okay. So I must say there are several of drawbacks in fundamental analysis also, as it is important to be realistic about its limitations. As fundamental analysis is very time consuming, each company must be studied independently and in detail about it, as most of the informations are used in fundamental analysis and it is widely available to gain the edges of fundamentals. So you need to find unique database that aren't available to the most of the investors. And fundamental analysis tells you very little about what might happen in short term, as it cannot give the judgment what is going to happen or what will happen. So the short term price movement and volatility cannot be forecast by looking at the financial statements. So we had looked the fundamental analysis advantages and disadvantages. So coming on next, it is like technical analysis also have the pros and cons. So I can say one of the major advantage of technical analysis is that it can be analyzed quickly. Also, some tasks can be automated when time saves, as technical analysis can also be used to identify price, targets, and levels at which an idea is obviously, I might say it may be wrong, but this allows traders to create an investment strategy which clearly define the risk and reward portfolio of their traders. And in short term, price action is affected by several factors that fundamental analysis cannot pick up. So the effect of market sentiments and supply and demand can be observed by the looking at charts only. And technical analysis can be used to improve timing and trade strategies to appropriate the market conditions. And one more thing I must add on this, that technical analysis does of course have its drawback. Like first among these, it is while some technical approaches can have been tested using charts is often regarded as most of the arts than the science. And two technical analysts can come to very different conclusions about some stock by using different approaches. As one is saying this and another one is saying that, so it might be different perspective of any traders, you can say. And charts often appear very different on different time frames also. With a large number of analysis method, indicators and time frame are available, forming a single view of challenges. Okay, so now next, coming on what we can use fundamental and can we use fundamental and technical analysis together, as many of the traders may be having these questions, like how we can choose together and how it will work. So I can say that there are several ways in which technical and fundamental analysis can be used effectively together, as there are few of the ways you can combine the both methods. Simply looking at the price chart can give you an idea of direction of the trends. This will give you an idea and guide you whether the market agrees with your valuation or not. And you should also have a stronger conviction when going against the crowd and when is going with the crowd. And also be prepared with the quick exits when it is required, as the stock is widely owned and fundamental changes are to be done in that. So you can build a watch list of stocks you are prepared to its own based on fundamental analysis, and then you can use technical analysis to decide whether to when to buy and when to sell. So quantitative studies have found that the combination of value and the momentum can be effective methods of stock picking. So in this sense, you can also stock trading a low valuation but with a strong momentum tends it outperform. And also adding on this, I can say that there are some technical strategies also that are bad tested. This means they are scientifically tested and applied also. So the strategies that can be bad tested can form in the basis of algorithmic trading strategy. And in this case, technical analysis can be used to identify oversold levels also. So, fundamental research can sometimes be used to determine which part of business cycles are mostly profitable and it can give you the most profit. And technical analysis can be then used to confirm the participant trends. Okay, so moving further, when to use fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So this is again a critical point for traders, as fundamental analysis versus technical analysis is their usage of market participants. Typically, the security market compromises the two types of investor. One is like long-term investment and second one is short-term. So long-term investment is like it requires more profound analytical approach compared to the short-term trading. Therefore, the former categories of investors typically depends to the fundamental analysis, and in this way, the investor educates themselves which stock or instrument value would yield maximum returns in the long run based on their intrinsic value. And also investors can use technical analysis for long-term investment by coupling it with the fundamental counterpart. And coming on the next, it is short-term trading. So investors use technical analysis to determine the short-term earning potential of securities. Since the future projection reached via technical analysis, it is based on the short-term historical data only. So it cannot basis on the long-term decisions only. So it might be coming in the short term. So, however, usually events relevant to the factor that determines an instrument true value might also cause a dramatic price change in short run. So, therefore, investor must benefit from the fundamental analysis in short term trading, and for long term they can use the fundamental. So, coming on the conclusion, if you invest in unlisted company, fundamental analysis is all you have available to work with. But when it comes to a listed stock, there is a lot that can be learned from their trading history. And the price of the trader's security is also affected by a lot more than underlying the fundamentals. For these reasons, technical analysis does have their value. So, however, for long-term investor, it is important to have an idea where the company has been valued and how much we have to trade. So, it is important when picking stock to hold for long term and to manage the portfolio risk and to know what and when to exit or enter the market. So in future, the debate over the two styles of analysis may become immaterial as multiple approach can combine with quantitative and systematic approach by investing. So here, I guess I completed most of the fundamental and technical analysis and given you the information about it, what are the advantages and how tools should be used and when to use technical and fundamental analysis. So I hope you understood, and if anyone is having any query they can kindly raise their questions. And I must say we are having a market expert, Mr. Ajay Mehra, with us, so you guys can question anything you want. Okay, one of the participant has the question that what is difference between the fundamental and technical analysis. I can say fundamental is like about the news, about the things happening in the market, and technical analysis is totally based on the charts, price movement, volatility. So we can see both in different way. Okay, the another question is which analysis is best for trading, technical or fundamental? I guess we cannot go with the one analysis. We have to trade with both, as technical and fundamental both plays a very important role. As I mentioned earlier, also technical is for price movement and fundamental is for on news based. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, so next question is technical analysis is based on what? So it is typically based on the price movement, charts, Like you can say bar chart, candlestick chart, and etc. There are many charts. So it is basically based on the chart and price volatility. Okay, so there is one question I would like to question with Mr. Mehra. Is fundamental work with short term?
A very good evening, friends. The question is fundamental working with the short term? So fundamentals actually basically it is best used to analyze for the long term, because as we are going to analyze the data, job reports, and PMI, interest rate, manufacturing things, everything. So we have to use the fundamental analysis. So it takes months and years to gauge whether the economy is booming, or whether it is trying to enter into a recession. Technicals actually give us the indication in advance whether we are actually looking at the pair, whether it is actually trying to reverse the trend, or it is actually going to continue with the trend. So my advice to the beginners would be, actually it's better you start first with technical, and then slowly start to combine technicals with fundamentals. But all in all, as what I feel is, technicals is anytime better as compared to the fundamental. Yes, Mr.
Okay. So there is one another question also. Technical analysis is based on what? As in it is used for scalping or for long term?
Here you can use for both. If anyone is looking to do scalping, then for them any time frame between 15 minutes to 4 hours would be good. And if anyone is looking to analyze for the long term, so three good charts would be daily chart, weekly chart, and monthly chart, wherein you can backtest your analysis, come to a conclusion if you are finding any good candlestick pattern and chart pattern, or you are finding any trend reversal patterns, like say head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, double top, double bottom, etc. Accordingly you can take a call, and you can position yourself for the upcoming trades. Yes, Mr.
Okay, so any other questions? Okay, so I guess okay, so I guess there is no questions. So I can end the webinar. Okay, guys, thank you for participating.